Hey, Bobby Nuttall here. I'm doing my video log on this week's assignment. Pretty much the only way I know how, and that is to use this desktop, my background here, as my desktop. I have not figured out another way of doing this. Yeah, I am part of the informational cadre. Just a little video message from Jeff this week explaining what we're looking at. And isn't video fun? Yeah, if I was a good looking guy like you, it might be fun. Another reason to look at this face? Nah. So where I've been at in my journey is I started off at this year. I was talking with one of my cadre members at the gym, and he was, I was kind of almost venting, if you will. Every other word out of my mouth was blog, blog, blog. He's like, "Yo, Nuttall, stop. That's not what this is about. This is about building another, almost PLC, a team that you can bounce ideas off of, that we're all learning together." And so he can present to me what he was doing in his class, and it was this crazy, crazy idea where he's just giving him a big question and not giving them a lot of directions, but seeing what is it that they came up with. I love the idea here. It flipped my head, almost flipping teaching on its side. And so I went back to my another cadre member, Julie Sutter, and I said, "Hey, can we do something like this?" And she's like, "You know what? We can not only do something like this, we can do it well." And she had been reading these articles about making menus for the students and about how you can have them do this work, but you can choose, the students get to choose how they're going to present their learning. And so it kind of puts the student into the driver's seat. And so we presented that. The directions were a little nebulous at the time. We weren't really sure what the end product was going to look like. And I guess our strong students, some of them really, really struggled with this because they were used to saying, "Hey, this is what an A looks like." And they weren't sure what that looked like at this point. Overall, I think it went really well. It put the kids in the driver's seat, put them back into control. More recently, our most recent article here is, how does visual literacy play a role in our classroom? And so again, I was talking with Sutter, and she's like, "Look, we can do this again, and we can do this well." And so we had this. We're just finishing up climate change, and we decided, hey, what if we made an infographic or a blog to communicate this information about the climate change? And so we're putting this together. While we're putting this together, I get an email from my boss, Jill Barrett, about, hey, what are the blog guidelines? This all comes out from a conversation that you can hear all about coming out of Blair's classroom and his creation of a blog. So what we did was we kind of focused on the infographics, and the majority of my kids study these infographics. Now, infographics, my eyes weren't really aware or open to them at the time. But they say they process these visual messages 60 times faster than text, and that they really are the cutting edge. And that infographics, they're more likely to be shared, and they hold the reader's attention for a little bit longer. So the idea is take everything that you learn and create an infographic of your own design. And so that's where we're at right now. And it was an interesting thing is that we're looking at different infographics, and we're talking about what makes a good infographic. Having these pictures that pull in your eye, having different colors to code your information for different areas. And we were starting to look at our information websites, and the kids were like, "Hey, look, this is the EPA website from 2 years ago." And you'll notice that what they're stressing here, the story that they're trying to tell, is that greenhouse gases, and then the big blue box, climate change. And if you look at how sophisticated our website is now, this is the most recent EPA website. And the truth is, this too is also a just infograph, really interactive infograph. And so here they're still telling a story. You can see here, though, the story is much different. It's our nation's air. And you'll see that the graphs that they have, by taking out carbon dioxide, by picking out different pieces, they get to present the story that they want to you. And so the kids started looking at that, and they started seeing the power in these infographics, and how to make their own infographics. And so that's where we're at this week. Is my kids are finishing up climate change. Majority of them are doing the infographics. Some of them still have a choice to do a blog, and the only ones that are really blogging are the ones that are doing the video log. And so I wonder about forcing them to do a blog in the future, if it feels like an assignment already to them, or if they feel like this is another tool to share their learning. Um, this week, another idea I really wanted to try coming from the blog site is that Rebecca Cheney has said that in her learning tracker, what she's having the kids do is take an image that encapsulates or visualizes their learning target. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That's a really quick way to look at something and to see if a kid can analyze an image and find an image that encapsulates that learning target. So that is another idea I would love to try here. That's kind of where I'm at in my journey right now. I appreciate you guys taking the time. And remember, if you like this, to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. JK. JK. All right.